first bear slap.
I know.
Or bare-handed bear slap.
Oh, look at it. Nice.
I will hold it at the bottom so I don't accidentally punch
Yeah, don't
you.
hit me with your actual hand. Ow!
So much harder than I thought.
My face broke it already.
Dan, you got a strong face, man.
Yeah, that was harder than I was anticipating.
Listen, it was a lot harder than I intended for it to be too, man.
How many tortillas are we to break?
I feel a little bad about that.
Thank you, Tim, and as a reward I will say this. I was at a bar last night and the waitress screamed, "Anyone knows CPR?" I said, "Hell, I know the entire alphabet." Everyone laughed. Well, everyone except this one jerk.
Oh, that's really good. The player wants to use a team reroll. Okay. Unchanneled Fury. Why can't I throw to this dude? I forgot to pick up the ball. He beat me at a...
You're always so worried about it.
I don't want people to think you're lewd.
Lude. L-U-D-E.
You got enough problems. You don't need help.
We all got problems. Hi, Hobbit.
I want to know why Hobbit's doing that sexy dance for you in the chat.
Sexy dance thing for me in the chat. I don't know what the heck. Oh, him? Oh, yeah, yeah, he does that occasionally, yeah. I mean, whatever. He could do whatever he wants, free country. Most of the time I just feel like I can't respond, because by the time I read it, it's like 4 hours later. Yeah, all being a happy boy. Being all happy and stuff. It happens, you know?
Dude, you went live and like 8 people showed up.
Did well, I think a lot of them are like, oh, Streamlabs bot, and then they're not always people. Because if you like click on this. Oh yeah, I guess some of these people. Oh, hi!
People?
Hello, peoples of the internet. It's me, Dr.D. This one's much earlier than usual. Me and Kara, or Kara and I, depending on your English. This Friday, we probably can. I don't know. I'll get back to you on that. I gotta check my schedule. I think that's probably okay though, as long as me and Kara aren't doing something.
I don't have plans yet for next Friday. You good?
Okay. Then more than likely, yes. It's mostly going to come down to making sure I wrote enough stuff, and if everybody's available. I know, because we forgot to do the schedule thing at the end of that last episode, because we were all just feeling natural euphoria. But yeah, as far as I am aware as of right now, yeah, we should be able to. I just got to get to writing. I thought I was going to do a lot of writing this weekend, and I've just been painting mostly because I just want to. Which is wild, I know. Yeah, I assume you're doing every 2 weeks. Yeah, it might be a good idea because I know that to check though, because I know Dagna. I feel like X-Paxis is the one you got to worry about because he's like a guy with a family. You know, like he's usually out doing stuff. Like Dagna's got a family too, but like Dagna and Dan, I feel like the two you got to make sure, just to be safe. I mean, we could say, oh, I need a pad back up here. Yeah. Yeah, I'm fine either way with it. Just as long as I know what's going on. It's so. By the way, we're gonna do a couple hobbying things before we do Wise Main, because I really got to do it. This is the first time. So I finally, after 6 months, which is wild, I finally got the old world single Bretonian model that I bought 6 months later, which is crazy, but whatever. It's super weird to see the new base. I've been printing out a bunch of like that size base for the models and stuff I have to rebase everything, but it's just wild to see GW actually print this thing. It's kind of wild. It's just crazy how big it is. But regardless, we're gonna be using my bases just to keep the army scheme consistent. As you can see, it's super well printed. Yeah, I pulled out of Old World because of stuff like that with supply. Yeah, it's I'm not even sure it was necessarily a supply issue. I think it's mostly just like a GW problem, right? Where they have like really weird logistical problems. I was real into it when it first came out, and then just kind of life got busy. So I haven't been able to do as much with it as I feel like I wanted to, especially at the beginning. But what? Well, when it came out, I wasn't busy, and then it became very busy. But not a bad thing. Just I gotta put it on a little bit on the back burner, but I still adore it, and there's no way in heck I'm not gonna finish painting the Bretonians at some point. But it's just not like a super priority right now. But that's fine. That's what life is. But yeah, we're gonna do a couple hobby things before I get to Wise Main. We're gonna probably go until like 5 o'clock, so it'll be a little bit shorter, but still a pretty good stream. There's just been a couple hobby things I really just need to do, just to clean off my desk. The other thing I'm gonna be doing is friend of the network, Ernie, who I play games with quite a bit. He keeps telling me that I gotta make sure I put his HVT models for Infinity, which are little chibi characters of Predator characters from the old 1980s movie. So this is Arnie. I forget the name of his character. It's not like it matters in those movies, but I forget the name of his character. But this one's definitely Arnold Schwarzenegger. This one is the sexual Tyrannosaurus guy. Again, I don't know their names because I feel like it didn't matter really. All I know is that the black guy, his name is Dylan. But that's just because of the famous line where they do the super muscular handshake thing. Dwarf Box was released, announced 5 months ago, still not out anywhere. Yeah, don't get me. Yeah, I know. I know. I don't support GW in any way. If somebody was like, yeah, I don't like GW games, I'll never play them. I'll be like, yeah, no, I get it. I don't blame you. Thankfully, I bought my entire Bretonian army back when I used to play it, which back then it was a heck of a lot cheaper. And I bought this particular Lord because it was, for some reason, it was the one model I just never got. But I have like everything else, and I almost bought the core box a couple times, or that new like starter box thing or whatever they call them. It was just to get the Royal Pegasus model, which I'll get at some point. But it wasn't like a super priority just because I already had so much stuff. But I'll get it at some point. It's a really sick looking model. I will say GW really did a great job of making models that at the same time look new, but still tied in really well with the old stuff. Which I think the Bretonian line in 6th edition, I think it was, they looked phenomenal for the time. I would say they were probably some of their best models in all honesty. Yes, I was gonna do Chaos Doors. Man, bought a bunch of STL for painting models. Yeah, if you're gonna play, Chaos Doors, you better buy the STLs because that army is expensive. Ooh boy! And yeah, I was also tempted to do Kislev because I thought that was like such a really cool. That was such a neat idea. The big compromise I was gonna do was I was gonna do a undead army after they bungled that, as they often do. Who knows? Like maybe I don't know. Maybe they'll announce them later. Like I don't know. Whatever. They say a lot of things that they don't follow through with, so I'm like, yeah, whatever. Even bought a bunch of yeah, but the whole Kislev fiasco killed. Yeah, I don't blame you at all. Gotta wait for a new edition to get the first faction they advertised. Wife wanted to do Skaven. Skaven are fantastic. And you could probably get Skaven on the cheaper. I say cheaper side. You know, it's all relative. Just because of the AOS release. If you wait a couple months for a couple of the bandwagoners to leave, you could probably find pretty good cheaper lots of Skaven. Which from what I understand, there's not really a whole lot in the AOS line that you can't use in fantasy. I mean, clan rats are clan rats. Oh, okay, SDLs for her too. Yeah, that's even better. Like, I don't always support 3D printing, but when it comes to GW not getting quite their... If it comes to GW getting their just desserts, I totally support it.
Only can support artists who are willing to actually do the work.
I mean, GW do a lot of work. I just don't know if it's for us. not because you said artists. I'm not entirely sure GW is. What do they say? They're a model making company, not a game making company. Gotta love backtracking.
So my 40k is no bad.
People like it. I mean, whatever. It's not my cup of tea.
People like the setting and
Yeah.
the
Yes.
critical thinkers.
Yes, I believe that is the actual crutch of the conversation. I think 40k is successful because of the universe, not because of the game. Couldn't play after all because it took the FLGS to get 2 rule books, and those were pre-ordered. Yeah, brother, don't get me started. I mean, there's always electronic copies, but I know some people kind of are hit or miss on if they want to use an electronic rule book. What were you saying, Kara? Anyway, on a happy time, his wife and I got a bunch of yard work. Oh, that's fun. You feeling better? I imagine it must come in waves. Main point being, I did yard work, real yard work. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You must be feeling at least a little bit better. This is the guy that we do the RPGs with, Kara. Rob. So much flash. Things have gotten way better the last 2 seizures. I didn't lose awareness. Oh, good. That's awesome. Everything just kind of locked up after and I was okay. That's awesome. You think it's the meds? Like, you think they're working? Oh, good. Glad to hear that, bud. Did you have? I know you have seizures. Do you have grand mal? You have like grand petite seizures, right? Because you don't have grand mals, at least as far as I saw. Meds and being way more liberal with my pen, right? Wife and doctor told me to stop playing around.
There you go.
Is it like a special mix on the pen, or is it just like whatever, just the herb in general? It's indica. Okay. Cool. Well, I'm glad it's working, buddy. For a variety of reasons.
Got a beautiful puppy on that puppy cam.
What up, bobbies?
Oh, he just laying there looking pretty for the camera.
Dude, it's awesome. You miss doing yard work. Oh boy. That's not something I miss. Living in Boston, that is kind of one of the niceties, I guess, is not having to go out and do yard work.
I'm not gonna lie, I looked at a house today and I said, nope, that front yard is way too big. There's no need for that much yard in front.
Like, I think perfect world, if when we do get a house, it's gonna be just a big backyard with no front yard.
Yeah, or
Just
like
a single yard.
For like a pretty English garden.
Yeah, so yeah.
Walk in it, it's just some flowers.
I would just want like a natural, what am I trying to say? Like a local plant overgrowth thing going on.
I'm gonna have it a little bit better than that. But
Okay.
sure, that's cute that you think we would like that. Pretty sure neighbors would fuss about that kind of shit.
Well, there are like companies that do it. Comes with the whole bonsai thing. Oh yeah, that's right. How are the the new bonsai's coming. You've had them for what, 2 weeks now? Give or take 2 weeks. Still germinating, no sprouts yet. Okay. It's just a wee little baby. Yeah, I don't take particular pride in a yard. I'm just like, yeah, great, more work. I'd rather be doing like a million other things.
This is an incredibly boring stream.
Why is that?
Cleaning models. There's nothing more boring than watching somebody clean models.
I mean, trust me, I hate doing it. I really hate doing it. I'm just gonna get all the parts clean and I'll pull out Wise Mane.
There's some pretty bonsais at the Boston Arboretum, like huge, like fully grown
Ooge.
trees. Spidey dude, who dat?
Spidey, dude, what's going on, Spidey? Who dat? This is a it's an old world model. This thing has been sitting on my desk forever, and I've desperately just wanted to build it. So I was like, let me just get all the parts clean before I start. I don't know why. It was like a weird compulsive need. Don't yell at me, please.
My microphone keeps turning itself off.
You want me to hit it?
No. It's gonna be paint time soon.
Yep.
What are we painting today?
Today we are painting Wise Mane.
This ugly.
Alright, I get the general gist. Let me just put this away. It will be painting time in literally 13 milliseconds here.
He thought you guys wanted to talk to him while he did boring stuff, not fun.
Yeah, I know. It's like I'm trying to like paint before, and you guys are all like, "Oh, what do you think of like butts?" And I'm like, "That's a weird thing, but sure." And then as soon as I'm not painting, everybody's like, "Why aren't you painting?"
Oh my god, I came here to see the paint.
I'm like, well, I don't know what you guys want from me. What do you paint? So for that night, I'm thinking it has the red dragon of, I think that's, I forget the name of the dukedom. I think it's Bestone. I'm probably gonna paint this one fairly similar to that. My main duke is gonna be the water one. It's like blue. I think it's Carcassonne. I think it's Carcassonne. That's probably gonna be the main duke to might work with. You want love and affection? Well, I'll give you plenty of that. They have passed. You're right. Okay, so here's Wise Man. This is what we're gonna be painting today. He looks a lot like Gul'dan, so we'll probably be painting him very similar to Gul'dan with a little bit of an ice theme, just because of the way the rest of the models in this faction I'm planning on working. I'm a little intimidated by this model. There's a lot of stuff going on. I will say the Warcrow Northern Tribes stuff is exceedingly detailed. It's like kind of insane how detailed these models are. I did finally finish the wizard. I put the magic effects on there. I was gonna do some like glow effects and stuff, and after I was done, I was like, no, I don't want to. I just don't want to do it. I don't think it'll make it look any better. Just because I was gonna do a little bit of a glow on the book. I might still go back and maybe when I do airbrushing for some priming and all that, I might do a little bit of a glow on the book. But I was gonna do like OSLs like that were going on as like just all over the model. I was like, nah, I just don't think it's worth it. I think it's just gonna make it too complicated. But overall, it's a great model. I really love the Ember Sigma. Hi, Chunk. Oh, you chunky monkey. Yeah, Chunk. I really love the Ember Sig models. I think they're like the perfect combination of detail and utility, just like with their gear. But big fan. Absolutely, I really like this model. I think if I were to do it again, I might do a couple things a little different. But it was a great paint job. I love doing it. But today we're painting Wiseman, who is a shaman character for Warcrow. He's very good. He's a dice fixer in the minis game. So if you are never too comfortable with the way that you roll, like me, then this character is going to be for you. He's very good. I think he's too cheap. Quite personally. Is it painting time yet? For the nights, I want love and affection because I'm needy and lonely at home a lot. Well, you know, in your situation, I don't necessarily blame you, buddy. Is he from Alpha? No, he's from Warcrow. He's the new CB game. Dry brush before shade to help show the small stuff better. No, I usually don't do that because once you've been painting as long as I have, you don't want to waste your time doing stuff that isn't going to finish the model. There is a chunk. Okay. Here, get the big meatball. A little bit of meatball. A good chunk. There, good boy, chunk. If it's not finishing the model, I don't want to do it. I'll be quite honest. Weird flex, but okay. Yeah, it's from years of doing this job, where you're just painting and you're just desperately trying to finish things. You're like, I don't want to do any extra work. I just don't want to do it. All right, so.
And how can you like critique Dr.D paintings? It's so beautiful.
Yeah, it comes out great. So obviously I must be doing something right. All right, so what we're gonna do first is we're gonna do the usual rule of you got to start from the bottom and work your way up. So we're gonna start with the skin because there's nothing below the skin.
Start with the bone.
Start with the bone. Can you see the bone? Can you see the bone?
Start with this bone color.
I don't think I finished any other models in the Evoker. Can you hand me the painted wizard lady orc from the tray? I mean, if it comes out bad, you should see a doctor. That's true. It's the one with like her staff has like icicles in it. So this is what it's gonna look like roughly when it's done. So this is the other model for that faction I've finished painting. There's just so much stuff going on this model.
You really did a great job blending that orc green with that jade green. That's difficult to do. Really nice colors.
Yeah, they stick out. So it'll be kind of similar to this. We're about to do the skin on this. And since we're only going until 5, we'll probably finish the skin because you guys are going to torture me like you guys always do. And then I won't get anything else done. So, there's not a lot of skin on this guy because he's really armored up. So he doesn't have any feet showing. We have a little bit of ear, a little bit of mask, or a little bit of face.
We get enough lady followers in here, maybe we can start talking you into painting the models and always utilizing the Pantone color of the ear.
I don't know what any of that means. Lady, don't hurt me, please. Don't hurt me.
Have fun with your D&D group. Stay safe.
What do I think about butts? Butts are cool. D&D group is here. I'll see you later, bud.
He likes big butts and he can't.
For your eyes, of course. Nothing else, I'm sure. For my eyes, yeah. Yeah, butts are cool. Butts are, in fact, pretty cool. All right, you got some elbow showing.
We washed our dog's butt this weekend.
We did. We cleaned up a lot of dog butt this weekend. And then he's got some of his tummy. We can see his tummy. That's fun. Which is why, look at all the stuff he's wearing, and then he just has like his stomach showing. I guess it gets.
Does he have like a tramp stamp in the back?
I mean, I guess we can give him one if we really want to.
I mean, if he's going for full 90s midriff.
So
maybe just thong straps on his.
Well, he's got the straps. You can clearly see some straps there.
Paint him hot pink.
Those are suspenders if I've ever seen them. This is an old man. That's why he's wise. It's because he's old. He's an old man with a bright pink thong on.
90s
Not painting that, by the way.
90s pop girls came around and he was like, "That's my love."
That's what I'm after. Finally.
I'm not leaving it behind. I'm sticking with it forever.
That's finally the thing I've always wanted. And we got some underarm. In between straps. What about you, Spidey? What have you been painting lately? He's over here. What's wrong, Bubby?
What's going on with you?
Just, dogs doing dog stuff. Junk!
I got your ball, Bubby. Which one? Which one were you looking for?
It's not exactly clear whether they even truly exist, or could be shown to in the physical universe.
We only got one ear.
If they do, if one day physics finds a use for them, that's great. But if not, that's great too.
Looking for this one? Thor's being a bully.
Thor is kind of a bully.
That would mean that we have, with this brain,
Well, so orc butts are green.
Orc butts are green. That's true.
What color is the crack though?
It's probably it's kind of like got a reddish tone to it,
Red crack.
Yeah.
A green and red. I don't know. Maybe a blue.
Well, I do, with the orcs, I do red, like on the lips and stuff. Just to kind of help break it up a little bit. You can see it a little bit there.
I don't think something with green skin would have any kind of reds in their body. I think they'd have blues.
Well, orcs don't have blue blood.
Electro and Agent Venom. Electro is a great model. I like that model.
The Electro model is really good. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that one. I don't think with the way Spider Foes work, the way they went rules wise, I don't think I'm as excited to play Spider Foes as I thought I was going to be. Not to say they're bad, they're just not the way I want to play them. I was thinking they were going to be more of like a beater faction, just because of the way Green Gobbo is. But I will eventually get that model because that model is very, very cool. Last thing, and Agent Venom's pretty decent. I don't think he was too much or anything. Agent Venom, that was a good model too. I really dug that one. That's probably one of the better ones I painted for Jesse. I have them in my house. I haven't been able to paint my own. It's been a long time since I've painted an MCP model for me.
Pretty Loki.
If one day physics finds a use for
You had 5 ads?
that's great.
You should totally subscribe with your Amazon Prime membership.
That's true. Yeah, how do you not have Spidey? How do you not have a sub? Tim is coming back at some point.
But I mean, if he doesn't, watching Dr.D paint is pretty awesome. As long as he paints and doesn't build models and shit.
And shit.
Your fans have spoken, babe.
My 2 fans. All 2 of them. They know what they want. I said all that to Spidey like he had any idea. He couldn't even hear me because he's trapped in AIDS or an ad AIDS. He's trapped in ad jail. The last thing I heard was with the way foes tools want to play, then I got hyper loud ad. Cause yeah, okay. So I said I absolutely adore the models. I just don't think that the way the play style for Spider Foes was planned out with all the new characters, that it was something I was very excited to play with. That being said, I think the models are phenomenal. And I will eventually get the models to paint them. So like Sandman and stuff, they look great. Like, you know, it's hard to argue that those models look phenomenal. Or that they don't look phenomenal. I was just thinking that Spider Foes were going to be a little bit more of a attrition team. And they turned into more of like a control team. Which in itself is fine. It just wasn't quite what I was wanting. So I'm really excited for Asgard. I will be painting Asgard on the channel. Also, Spidey, how do you not have a sub? Tim is coming back at some point. Yeah, they're very tanky. But the problem is every time I've played Spider Foes, yeah, they're supposed to be tanky, but I never get the tankiness because I usually get knocked out in one hit every time, which is exceedingly frustrating. And then when it happens, everybody's like, well, why don't you just get good? And I'm like, I tried! I'm trying! You were subbed and then you weren't. Well, yeah, I was going to say, because I'm pretty sure I've seen you be subbed. Just sub. Especially if you have like an Amazon Prime account. It's like easy. Doesn't even cost you anything. But Spidey, if it makes you feel better, if you watch ads, you do actually help the network out. So watching ads actually does help us. So you are contributing. No matter what, which we appreciate. Thank you. When Tim comes back and looks at the books, I'm sure he'll be like, "Oh, hooray!"
Yeah, I would dare say that ads probably pay the art. I think corporations have the ability to pay artists more. So when you watch the ads, as annoying as it is, it helps support the artists in a better way that a lot of people can afford to on their own. So you know, it's still support.
I've seen the amount we make on ads. It's not a lot. Who are you calling easy? Amazon. Jeff Bezos. He's easy. Who you calling easy, bub?
Dr.D is not easy. Unless it's
Sheesh! I have a feeling I know who that is.
There y'all go. Bezos money.
Bezos money. Heck yeah. Thanks, Spidey. Thank you for the sub. I appreciate that, buddy.
You'll appreciate it too without those ads.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. The ads, they do stink. I'm just amazed that there are a lot of people out there that have Amazon Prime accounts that don't sub. I'm like, what are you doing? You're just sitting there and suffering for no reason.
To be fair.
No.
Way back, like 5 years ago.
In the Wayback Machine.
When Amazon first set that up, it was very complicated to utilize your free sub.
But capitalism.
That's okay. Yeah, no No shame, no
Maybe-
shame. If you enjoy the suffering,
maybe
totally
we enjoy.
acceptable.
Maybe we enjoy. That's true. I didn't think. You know what? That's true, Spidey.
I am so sorry. That was not our intention.
I'm very divisive. All right, we're using a little bit of Pro Acryl. Just green, I think. Yeah, just green. Pro Acryl green is fantastic. I adore this color. And when you combine it with the dark green and the bright green, it's probably one of my favorite paint triads of all time. It's so good. Because it looks nice, bright, and vibrant, and just because of the way the paint consistency works, it just blends right in. Actually, oddly enough, it's the exact same color as this, which is just dark green, green, and then bright green. Bright yellow green, I think, might be the technical. Yeah, bright yellow green. Those three colors make an absolutely amazing green color that I'm just a huge fan of. And if you don't get any other paints from the Pro Acryl line, those are the three that I would recommend. They're fantastic. Boys, enough. Well, why aren't you painting, Spidey? You said it's been a while. Well, you just haven't had time, or you're not feeling it.
It's been a while.
It's been a while since I could stand on my own 2 feet again.
That's okay. Use your 2 thin coats. That's a good system. I like the 2 thin coat system.
Been a while. I've way too much thing going. Oh yeah, brother, get it. I've actually never tried those paints.
I did them at
LVO, right?
ACO.
I don't even think. No, it wasn't ACO. It was definitely LVO. They weren't out yet. I don't even think the full line had come out by that point either. You see, it's quite the opposite for me though, Spidey. It's with how much money I have invested in paints already, I'm just like, there's no way I can afford another brand of paint. And I'm so happy with Pro Acryl that I just can't imagine getting another one.
I keep waiting to like find you on a Pro Acryl ad, because Monument Paints now hits my Instagram.
Yeah.
Like, why is Dr.D not on these Monument Paint ads?
The other people, the other people that are invested, that they've invested in, way higher profile than I'll ever be. They got like some actually like big mini painters in their, not in their, well, in their employ and their,
yeah, but these
like
are
ads.
just people that are like new, who like the guy who said he was eating the paints, said he just became a painter like 6 months ago. So he's not like one of the high people that are they're making like the sets of it. He's just like somebody at a con, and I know they've talked to you about how much you love it. You want more?
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Hot or cold?
Hot. Not feeling it. I sat down the other day and tried to just paint like people say, but like 10 minutes I was like, eh. Yeah. When you're in those, let me tell you, I've had those moments. It's when painting this model, when I was like getting near the end, I was like, please, for the love of God, be over. I just want to be done with this model. You're gonna hit those periods, those little chunks of time. In my opinion, that's the moment where you're like, let me just put this down for a second, start painting something I really do actually want to paint, like something you're just hyper excited for, whether it be just a D&D model or whatever. And in my opinion, the model you work on has to be fast. So if you're like, man, I'm really not feeling, because what you need to do, thank you, is get momentum. Because if you start painting something and you just don't finish it and it turns into a slog, you're just going to keep bumping into that like lack of dopamine hit. Oh, we got lemons again.
I'm sorry, I didn't know we were out.
It's okay. Just tastes way better when we have lemons. I'm like, oh.
Were you using like the oil?
I was using it, yeah, the oils. Yeah, big difference.
Well, I'm so glad you're happy.
I was not unhappy. But yeah, if you paint something, it's got to be something small. So things that bring me a lot of joy when it comes to painting are things I can finish in like an afternoon. So like for me, that would be like something stupid like this. Like a little corgi jester. Like you paint the fur, you could probably do that in like 10 minutes. And then just like the, because I painted that corgi wizard at Squad Goals, and I finished it for the most part. I think there was like a couple little things I had to finish up on, but painting like little stupid things like this and just getting it done, you're just like, oh, cool, I finished something. It's such a dopamine hit. And I highly recommend that people find more models out there that you can finish in that like amount of time, because it's a huge benefit. And just hold on to them.
I'm like,
It doesn't have to necessarily be for a game.
I'm totally in that same mood right now because I don't want to finish my movement. And I feel like I can't let myself paint anything else until I finish them.
Yeah, that's not a healthy mindset. Well, because it's like, you know, there's you can approach it from that standpoint, and you can willpower your way through it. But human willpower is a very finite resource.
Word.
People like me, who paint like all the time, like we're a little bit more a nerd to the pain. I think in our situation we could probably do it a little bit better than most other people. But even like I know tons of painters who are just like I can't finish this. So. When it comes to that fantasy army, there's no way I'm gonna be able to have one sitting and just be like, yeah, I want to paint, 60 peasants and 25 knights, and it's like it's not gonna happen.
Can you show us the penguins in the whip today?
I printed some penguin warriors on my girlfriend and thought looked cute. Maybe I'll slap some paint on one of those that already sent a photo. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. And I guarantee you, if you paint it and you have a lot of fun with it. You'll definitely have a lot more like energy to get into the next thing. So like the way I set it up is maximize the acknowledgement of finishing a model, because you want as much like of a dopamine hit on your brain as you possibly can. And then eventually, because there's two different kinds of brain chemicals. We're about to get doctory in here. There's serotonin and then there's dopamine. Serotonin is there's a lot more to this. I'm going to make this as simple as possible. Serotonin is essentially the long-standing habit brain chemical. Dopamine is the exciting, oh, I finished a thing that was really fun and you really enjoy it. So like dopamine would be jumping out of a plane, going parachuting, and falling at 1 billion miles an hour. And then surviving, and you're being like, wow, that was really, really exciting. Serotonin is, is the, like, the feeling you feel, like that positive feeling you feel when you're like, oh, I come home and I really like my family, or looking at Chunk. Look at Chunk. Look at Chunk amongst. Chunk. So the trick is you have to eventually get to the point where going through a habit of painting, if you do it like consistently, you'll start to feel a serotonin brain hit as opposed to a dopamine hit, which is exceedingly longer lasting. I'm just painting the skin.
Did that York peppermint patty give you a serotonin or a dopamine hit?
That candy, I think, is more of a dopamine. So that's one of the reasons why I really, really love Pile of Potential as a website, because it keeps track of all the stuff you painted. So every single time I go on there and I see that little number go up on the percentage of models I've painted, it really just helps the serotonin levels. So like that feeling you feel when you finish a project, whether it be for work or for something like an army. So like when you finish a model, you're just like, ugh, that felt great. But when you finish a army paint job, it is insane how good of a feeling it is.
Dr. D's an incredible nerd.
It's true.
He has created KPIs for his hobby.
What is a KPI?
Something indicator performance. Key indicator.
Oh, key. Oh, okay. Hey, there's a reason businesses do it. I mean, it's like if something didn't work, a business wouldn't make you do it.
So on some levels, yes. But on other levels, some people use the KPIs to say, I did all the things, I don't know why it didn't work, and I suck.
Yeah, it's just a measurement tool. I mean, it's not like with painting models, it takes like a ton of effort to measure what you're doing. It's not like we're making a ton of money off of this or something. Anyway, just think on that, Spidey. I'm not your dad. You can do whatever you want, but I figured it's worth thinking about. I'm not your dad.
I think you'd be a pretty funny dad if you were a dad.
I think I'd be an okay dad. When I wasn't teaching him the lesson of having your ass kicked all the time.
I think you'd be a bit of a bully.
That I would.
But
You're not my dad!
You're not my dad!
teasing bully to my child, and he'd be like, why did
You're
you
not my
do
dad!
this? And I'd say, because you have no older siblings.
If you want me to be your daddy, Spidey, I'll be your daddy. I'll be your daddy. So as you can see, significantly greener.
Significantly. 80 bits to not be your dad.
It happens.
People are literally paying to not be your dad.
I have a certain set of skills. Being a lackluster dad is one of those skills. And I'm not even a dad. That I know of. Yeah, Spidey, you should definitely post those penguins. Even the unpainted version of them in the whip thing. I'm very curious to see those.
This is your Sunday afternoon reminder. If you're not registered to vote, there's still time to register to vote before the general election in November.
I feel like I don't really need to put a lot of effort into that.
Registering to vote or painting orcs?
Technically both, I guess.
That's only because you have a wife who's secretary.
If I was in another state, I would feel more compelled, but...
Hey, we'll repost the whip Discord again.
Oh, okay. You don't have it anymore. What do you mean anymore?
Yeah, why would you leave a Discord channel?
Well, I can't blame him for that, but I have so many Discord channels. I'm just like, I don't know why I'm still in this. I did a little cleanup just like a little while ago, and man, it felt good to just get out of some of those.
Such a pretty chunk on that screen. You looking into camera. Are you being a
There you go, buddy.
Oh, what? Yeah, you're a thief, aren't you? Oh, you bad boy! You stole this toy. You stole it from your brother. Why are you such a bully? You're so stinking cute. You get away with everything. Yeah, you do. You get away with everything.
Doesn't help that Loki's an asshole.
Yeah, it's definitely a multi-tiered issue.
It's bad when your parents go around calling you an asshole. That's why we don't have human children. Well, that's not fair. I have a human child. He's not an asshole. He's perfect, which is why I only had one.
As far as kids go, he's not bad.
He's a good kid.
He desperately wants a part in Calamity Jack.
Oh yeah, he is ready for his debut. Ooh, penguins posted. Let me see.
Oh, they're definitely more like actual realistic I love the tummy slide one.
Feisty penguins.
The tummy slide one is awesome. They're like Aztecs.
Not what I was expecting, but I'm in love with these models.
Here.
What game is this for?
I don't think it's for a game.
I love them. The penguins are so cute.
Is that a not a Cabbage Patch Kid? What's the ones where they were all gross? They were like Garbage Pail Kids or whatever.
Oh.
It was like a big thing like back in the 80s or whatever.
I was
That sticker.
I was in a very conservative Christian family, and I can totally see my mom like sheltering me from Garbage Pail Kids.
These look really cool though. They're like Eskimo Aztecs. Yeah, I'm a big fan of those.
They look like, they remind me of those birds in Final
Garbage Pail
Fantasy
Kids.
when you have to go fight them. Like online Final Fantasy 13.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Garbage Pail Kids, indeed.
Okay, no idea. I saw the file, showed it to my girlfriend. She loved them, and I got the file.
I mean, they're great. They are perfect models. I can't complain. Aww, they're so cute together.
Kara's just having a bunch of moments. Yeah, look at that. I was right. Garbage Pail Kids. That was like a 90s thing? Because I was born in 92, and I don't really remember them that much in the 2000s. So I think I just missed those. So those are a little bit more detailed than I was thinking they would be. So those would be ones that you would just want to keep that paint job simple. Where I think most of your effort, looking at those again. I would say looking at those, most of your effort should just be in painting the little knickknacks and stuff. Because like penguins are just essentially black with a white tummy. Right? I think. At least if you go Emperor penguins anyway. Nope, I just want a picture of a penguin. Don't want to go to... Oh, I guess they're more white than I originally thought. Yeah, they're like 50-50 white and black, aren't they? It's like the whole front of them is white. That's where I would spend most of my time. It'd be on the fur. And then just like paint the knickknacks and stuff. Just get it done. Especially if they're just for the girlfriend. Like paint them up. Do your best for a nice, quick, easy paint job. And then hand them off brownie points. Boom. Thankfully, Kara doesn't do that. She doesn't force me to paint weird, or not weird, but random like model agnostic things.
You're the one who brings home the corgi models.
That's true.
And cheesy models.
Definitely late 80s, early 90s. Yeah, I miss the Cabbage Patch more. what is it? Garbage Pail? Is that what they're called? Garbage Pail Kids. I missed all that. I was the generation right after they started doing that stuff. It's very like Grand Theft Auto style. Some music here. And as you can see, as we work up that gradient, that skin really starts to peek out. And then inevitably, I'm going to start painting this model, and then we're going to find a spot in here where the skin's sticking out, and then I'm going to scream. Because there's so much going on.
Spidey dude, I was born in 81. Oh, there's a pretty junk. He's leaving though. He's not.
Go, Bob. Go, Bob, junk.
Do you want to lay down, Bubby, in the dog bed and be pretty on the camera?
What did he ask how old you were?
Doggies for bits. Oh, there's a pretty junk. He didn't ask anything. He just said he was the late 80s, early 90s student. I was just.
He didn't say that. He said that's what those were from.
And I said definitely late 80s, early 90s, and I said yeah, I was born in 81. Just extra commentary.
So we are going. The reason this stream is so weird, hi Chunk, is we're going to see Deadpool. The one nice thing about being in the Boston area is that there's a lot of theater. There's always something you can do. And if one theater's sold out, you could probably find a tickets at least somewhere else.
Or the next day.
Or the next day, yeah.
I did look for Saturday, but Saturday was sold out.
Because technically, I think it released Saturday.
I think it was Friday night probably.
With pre-release stuff, like I don't know when things actually come out anymore.
We're too old to care.
Yeah, that's the truth. I've always got something to do.
And that's just it. It's not like we're looking for something to do.
Yeah. And so something we can do to make the skin a little bit more interesting is on the larger joint areas. So I would usually do knees. Obviously, we can't see his knees, but his elbows, we're probably going to add like a red tint to it, just to indicate like a gnarledness to him, because he's supposed to be a bit of an older orc. And I think green skin usually starts turning red with age. Obviously, that's fantasy, because nothing actually has green skin like this.
Sure it's blue.
But we will see. So, Warcrow does come out next week. The pre-orders are already up. It comes out at Gen Con. Wisemane is in the starter box, as well as all the other models I've showed. If you order it as a pre-order, you get this pre-order model, which I forget his name in the game. It's like Alterac or something like that. He's very good. This is the Ice Bear. He's the leader of the the blue people, the skin changers. So if you want to play a lot of skin changer stuff, you're probably going to want to make sure you have him. Because he gives you some army building opportunities, I think, where you can use certain things with other stuff. So he lets you use orc leaders in your skin changer units, I think. It's been a hot minute since I looked at his card. So if you like the Varank, I think is what they're called, the skin changers, you're definitely going to want them. The game is good. I actually enjoy Warcrow. It's a pretty good game. It's probably not my favorite game, but it's very fun. It's definitely it's a thinker. It's a thinker's game. Funnily enough, there's not as much like just pure violence as the models would kind of make you think. It's very much a movement, making sure it's very much a placement game. Like you got to make sure your people are placed in very specific areas. It reminds me of a very good combination of things like Shatterpoint, MCP, a little bit of Legion. A little Arena Rex, I guess. Maybe a little bit.
Malifaux every day.
It doesn't remind me of Malifaux at all. But to its defense, I don't think I've ever seen a game like Malifaux. Malifaux's a unique anomaly, which is why I like it so much. There's a bit of a renaissance for it going on around here, just because I got back into it. Which I got in touch with the local community for it. There's a very, very intense Malifaux community up here by Boston. And when I went to the GT and started hanging out with them, they were exceedingly welcoming.
They're so fun.
Yeah, they're great people. And they were like, yeah, we got to do some stuff. Let's do some collabs, man. Yeah. That's okay, Spidey. I think I was just talking to myself for the most part. I was just talking about how the game comes out next weekend. Warcrow. It's a good game. If you're even remotely interested, I definitely think people should try it. CB have worked very hard on it, that's for sure. If you have any interest in playing the Varank, which are the skin changers, you probably want to do the pre-order so you get this guy. He's the leader of them. I don't know if king is the right word, but he makes army building for him a little bit easier because you can use some leaders that you can't get otherwise. Alright, so what we're doing now is we're taking a little bit of like an orange-red, which I don't like that color. I need a little darker red. And we are just glazing the surfaces that we want to look a little bit more gnarled, or at least like a different shade. So I always do this on fingernails for the orcs, just so they look a little different, because fingernails are technically like slightly different looking than the skin around it. And you don't have to be like super precise with this. It's pretty like kind of it's pretty abstract. When somebody looks at it, they're like, "Oh, okay, that's supposed to look like a fingernail. I know what that looks like." And the brain kind of does the rest. This is Warcrow, not Warcry. Sorry, did I say Warcry? I meant Warcrow. I get them very consistently messed up. So Warcrow is the new CB IP game, or fantasy IP game, which it's good. It's a very fun game. It's very, like I was saying earlier when you were having fun with your internet, it's very placement heavy, where you have to make sure your guys are in the right spot, and that to win, that's definitely how you win it. There's a lot less unit killing in it, which in a lot of ways reminds me of Shatterpoints in some ways. It's a game that is like a really interesting combination of MCP, Legion, Shatterpoint, maybe a little bit of Arena Rex. It's just a very interesting game that you should try. Warcrow, not Warcry. And having that red on the lips really helps kind of divide it from the next color we're going to do, which is the black on the hair, because he's going to have... I guess we're going to do white hair, because he's supposed to be old. I don't know what's happening. Have you ever tried Monster Apocalypse? I have never tried it, no. I know a lot of people in my area played it, and they were big fans of it. But I'm not a huge fan of like big things hitting other big things. That's why I don't really like I don't like mech games. For some reason, it's just like it's not a scale that's ever spoken to me. I like having infantry games. I like historical games and stuff where infantry are fighting other infantry. That's just where I belong. I'm kind of boring. Yeah, kaiju. I know some people are super into the idea. From what I understand, if that's the game that you want to play for like giant kaiju battles, that's the game to play for it. It just recently got... The IP just got sold, right? The IP sold because it was Privateer Press had it, and then they sold the rules rights to somebody or something. But they still maintain like control of the IP or something like that. I know something. I know PP sold. Okay, they sold everything but Mompoc. Okay. Not surprising. Yeah, Privateer Press ain't doing so hot these days. Which, go figure. Once you start acting like kind of jerks, you start to bump into problems. I guess they thought they were GW. And there you go. That's the skin for the most part done. A couple little areas here and there. Maybe I'll clean up later, but for the most part, not too bad. I'll mix in a little bit of yellow, actually, into this lovely bright yellow green, just to do like some extreme highlights. Not very much though. We're just gonna be a little little touches here and there. Just the corners. Get a bit of a scraggly skin on the lips. Make it look like he's an old and gnarled veteran. You broke my streak on Friday. Oh, because of that extra stream I did when I played Potionomics. Well, I kept getting asked to do extra streams, so I thought to myself, like, okay, I can do it today. I could only do it for a certain amount of time for some reason. What was it? Oh, because we were going to play Malifaux. Yeah, so I could only do it for a couple hours. You're welcome. PP sold everything. They even sold their P3 line of paint. That's actually kind of sad. I gotta get their denim color. I really love their Gravedigger denim. 140 streak is pretty impressive, Tiz. You know who to blame. You know who to blame for this. You can yell at me all you want. It's not gonna get you anything. Spend $3 to restore streak. Yeah, there should be a redeem to restore a streak. I just do what I'm told. I just do what I'm told, Tizzy. Can't shoot the messenger. I'm a little worried about Rylan, because he hasn't popped in yet. I know he's really happy with his streak right now, and me being here a little bit earlier than I usually am, I'm a little worried he's not going to get on. Ben also reached out to me. He might be doing some streams Tuesday, I think, until Tim comes back. So there might be a stream on Tuesdays. I don't know when it is though, because he was saying like, oh yeah, maybe I'll do it, maybe. But that'll be Ben playing either Souls or Blasphemous. I think he was playing yesterday, which is a phenomenal game, by the way. Blasphemous is insanely awesome. Their like universe is incredible. It's like weird, confused Catholicism, if us knowing that Catholicism is already very confusing. It's like Catholicism that hates you more than current day Catholicism. He never misses. He does never miss. That's true. I'd hate to ruin it for him, because he just reached 70, I think. But again, if he doesn't come here and get it, I can't feel bad about it, because I'm just doing what I'm told. Yell at Lindsay, I guess. Please don't yell at Lindsay. I didn't know you had a 140 streak, Tizzy. Otherwise, I would have reached out. I say hate to ruin it. I mean, I feel bad about ruining your streak, but I mean, what am I going to do? What can I do about it? I can do nothing. I can only worry about the things I can control, Tizzy. I can't control that. I'm just trying to help out the network. I read that in a book at one point. That's true. You can also read it in I don't know where the Serenity Prayer is. Is the Serenity Prayer in the Bible? Good man. Good man. Obviously, I know that's mostly a I think it was Epictetus that said that, but the Serenity Prayer is like kind of like the at common day version of it, which I'm not sure if that was. In a lot of ways, I don't understand how Catholicism works religion-wise. I don't know where all of their writings are. I know that the Bible's an important thing or whatever, but I don't know where the prayers are, if that makes sense. I'm willing to admit my ignorance on that one. It's good to have you with us, Tizzy. Sorry about your streak. It was a very short, inconsequential stream as well. I thought we were gonna have a lot more people join on that one, but we only got like 8 people, I think, which I thought was really low for a video game stream. I'm hoping that it was because I was having to use OBS, which caused the thing to act a little funny because I wasn't able to use Streamlabs. But I don't know. I'll probably try and do another one next week at maybe like on a Thursday or a Friday. Well, I'm working out on Thursday. Maybe Friday. when I get home from work. I might jump on and do a video game stream or something. Which I think I got out of work on at 2, I think. So I'll probably do that one later in the day. Yeah, we are currently just looking for hair, which I think I see some here. Like I said, these Warcrow models are phenomenal, but they have a lot of detail on them, so make sure you are paying attention because you will miss some insane detail. Tizzy also got the demo set, right? How's your painting of that been, Tiz? Do you agree that the models are insanely detailed, but maybe it makes painting them a little weird? Because you're like, oh my god, there's so much things on the model. And I will be back tomorrow to paint more. So the regular Sunday stream should be a thing. Today we're ending a little bit early because we're going to go watch Deadpool. Which is why the timing on this one was a little weird. Just because the movie takes... Like, we're going to go out to eat and do the whole date night thing. So that was why the timing was a little weird. Because by the time I got back, it'd probably be like 10 o'clock. Which I'll stream if you guys want to. I got to play. I didn't. Oh, you didn't get a set for yourself. Okay, what'd you think? It's fun. What does it remind you of? There's like when I play it, it feels unique, but there's like just classic elements from a lot of other games. Like it feels a lot like Legion. There's definitely some Shatterpoint and MCP influence in it for sure. Yeah, it feels a lot like Legion. It's a lot less killy. Thank you for the follow, K4 Schmore 3, or is that supposed to be like Cashmore? Either one. Thank you very much for the follow. Hi. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a sec. Yeah, big thing coming up. It looks a lot like Gul'dan, doesn't it? No, this is Wisemane from the new Warcrow set that comes out next week. It's from Warcrow, not Warcry. Warcrow. I don't know which one I said. Warcrow. Warcrow is Corvus Belli. They're the guys that make Infinity. They have a fantasy game coming out. And this is one of the orcs. This is like the shaman for them. It looks straight up like Gul'dan, though, doesn't it? I keep saying that the orcs in the game are very World of Warcraft inspired. They're very big. Here's the female one. They're very, very big.
Look at that beautiful Dr.D paint job with some snow.
Yeah, it's got crazy amounts of details on them. Like she's carrying around like a kettle. She's got like a fertility idol, like giant bones. The magic, yeah, it's crazy how much details on these things. And then this is the warrior character for the orcs. It's very not Thrall. What's his buddy? The guy that went crazy, who became war chief for a bit and then he became a boss. Hell something. Garrosh. Yeah, Hellscream. That's his name. Yeah, Garrosh Hellscream. Yeah. It is very Gul'dan coded, especially it looks like the Warcraft movie. Yeah, it 100% does. Yeah. I don't know if anyone can deny that. I'm sure if you even went up the, because Hoopu, who is the main liaison between us and CB for this game, she's even said that they're very World of Warcraft inspired. Yes, I do agree with you, Tizzy. The game loves tokens. I am a huge fan of the dial, where timing and all that is placed on the dial because it can make things like it's easy to see. Rylan, it's funny you said that because we were just talking about you. Glad you made it, buddy. I didn't want you to lose your streak. I've already ruined one person's life today. I'm sorry. Yeah, the sculpts are insane. Yeah, they're really, really good. Hand me the other ones that are painted. I'll show this guy. He's the new person here. We gotta welcome him with open arms. But yeah, he looks very Hellscream. The giant shoulders are more tusks on his things, but these are what the orcs look like. The humans look, they're kind of alliance-y looking, in a way. Like, they got really big pauldrons on the heroes. They look good. They're, like, legitimately really, really good looking. I love the human characters. Just give me it. That's fine. You don't have to give me all. I haven't finished the hunters yet. These are the warriors, the orc warriors. This is the medic. She gave him a little bloody effect going on because Doc being a combat medic is not easy. They are resin. Oh, they're not really. I don't know what you. It's Siocast. So whether it's kind of it's that resin plastic thermo injection stuff.
I feel
it's
like
good.
They're not as gooey as Moonmen.
They're not. Yeah, the Moonmen stuff is kind of. I don't know what that is. But here's the wizard for the Embersync, which are like cosmopolitan. They're very alliance-y. There's dwarves that are coming out shortly after the game comes out. That again, it's very, very World of Warcraft-esque looking. At least for the two starter factions. The other factions look a lot more unique. Rylan says hi.
You haven't shown this one off, Dr.D.
I haven't. You can get Rook too if you want to. He was right next to him. Yeah, I've been painting some Malifaux stuff over the week. It was killing me. I was over the week. Actually, the weekend. I finished these guys in 2 days. I wanted to just relax, so I painted some of my own models. This is Winston Finnegan from Malifaux. He's an Explorer Society model. I even did a little custom spilling wine thing. I was wanting it to be a little bit bigger, but I couldn't get it to do what I wanted, so I just kind of stuck with what it was. But there's a little bit of a wine spill going on. I added.
Oh, I see that. That looks good. I like that.
Yeah, I thought it was a neat little thing. It's the first time I've ever painted a watch, so I like free-handed a watch on his wrist. Because in the art he's wearing a watch, but in the model's not wearing a watch. But he's supposed to be like a celebrity in the Malifaux universe, and he helps out the train, one of the train companies.
Beautiful contrast on that model.
Yeah, I thought the blue came out really good. And then we have Rook, who is like a proxies in Warhammer. You probably could. I don't know how big the orcs are in the Warhammer game. They're a lot thicker. Like, overall, they're just a lot thicker. Yeah, Tizzy, I agree with you though. It's a token heavy game. I think I like it in some ways, and then in some other ways I don't like the clutter. They don't do a wonderful job of explaining what the tokens are at the very beginning, but once you get them, it's a lot easier to kind of figure out what's going on. But this is Rook. He's supposed to be like the hitman for the train company, and he works for the Department of Ungentlemanly Affairs. Did a little OSL with the candle. And again, went for high contrast. Black suit, you gotta make it as interesting as humanly possible. And again, he's the hitman, so I added some blood effect on his gloves and the poor unfortunate person that he was working with. But big fan. I managed to finish both of them in a weekend, so that was nice. It was a nice little recharge, which I was talking about with you earlier, Spidey, where it's just like sometimes you just gotta finish a model. But is it Cashmore? Is that what you want me to call you? They took a fair bit. They look a fair bit taller. Warhammer Orcs are only about 1.5 inches from head to toe. Oh, don't be misled. They're standing on cork. The leader characters are standing on corks. So, I know what the cork is. I showed you the other one, but I don't have any non-characters with me. But yeah, you could knock it down about a head. You got about an extra head on these. They're definitely thicker overall, but they're not that much taller. At least I don't think. There's one without corking. So it's about like a ½ inch shorter. So, yeah. I mean, as far as proxies go, if you're using them for 40k, it probably isn't a huge deal. If you're using them for fantasy, they're gonna be really crowded. Also, Rylan, I was going to reach out to you if you didn't pop on the stream. I was going to send you a message telling you to make sure you get in here. I've been drinking a lot of coffee this morning, so I might have to go to the bathroom here shortly. Anyway, I hope that helped you out a little bit, Matt Cashmere. The game comes out next week. If you order it, you get the pre-order model, which is this giant bear. He's the leader of the Skin Changers. If you want to play the Skin Changer faction, you're gonna want this guy. CB aren't too bad with exclusive models. I say that, but at San Diego Con, they kind of pull the weird one with their new movie thing. They have a show coming. There's actually going to be an Infinity Universe show, which is sick. Which is about the Assassin Baram, which are the Islam assassins. Which I have no doubt in my mind is going to be awesome. They don't have a publishing. I don't know how that biz works. They don't have a company that they're going to be using to release the stuff yet, so they're not like on Netflix or anything. I think that is in the background being figured out, so I don't know what it's going to be on, but the show itself is in production, which is really cool. It looks pretty solid. So I'm excited for that as a big Infinity guy, obviously. Kara wanted to know what everybody thought about Robert Downey Jr. coming back to the MCU as Dr. Doom. I figured it was coming at some point because I imagine that man must be bored. Was that DP3? DP3. I don't know what that means. Yeah, and you're welcome, Kashmir. Alright, while I let that dry a little bit, I'm going to go to the bathroom, because I've been drinking too much coffee. Deadpool. Oh, Deadpool. Oh, yeah. That's why this stream is weird, Rylan, because that's where we're going. I'm unsure. It depends on how they handle it. I hope he does. He isn't mainline Doom, and it's just a variant. I really like an actor with the chops to stick around for another decade or so to pick it up as Doom. Yeah, I don't know. The MCU's been acting really weird lately, just because, especially with the whole Kang thing. Honestly, as long as the movie's good, I don't really give a crap who the actor is. Like, especially with the Kang situation, they could use any other African-American actor and it would be fine, just because of the fact that that's how Kang works. I think he did fine. Like I think Jonathan Majors is an okay actor. He's okay. I haven't seen anything where I'm just like, wow, this is the best thing ever.
He had some social issues.
Yeah, well, I know why. I know why he's not there. I'm talking about like as an actor. I'm just like, he's okay, I guess. Hi, Optic Clay. Non-spoiler. There's one post-credit scene, and it's not a tease for a movie. Awesome. I love that. Here, Kara, take this headset while I go to the bathroom real quick. Entertain them.
So I'm a nerd for House of the Dragon. Ooh, I can hear the music when I have his headset set. Oh, okay. So is anybody on this stream in any way keeping up with House of the Dragon? Which would be weird because we do actually stream during House of the Dragon time, which is a little frustrating for me. Don't even know what that is? Whew. Whew. Okay. Whew. It's a prequel to Game of Thrones. Very, very much has George R. Martin involved because Game of Thrones definitely went off the rails. I got into House of the Dragon because I started playing the Game of Thrones model game right around the time House of the Dragon came out. And so I had forgotten like all of the characters. And Dr. D was like, you should probably rewatch the show or something and brush up on your lore because you're not remembering stuff. And I brushed up on it and I was like, oh, yes. And then I kind of got stuck in it. And so like I follow a bunch of lore channels now on YouTube. And that's just sort of my IP drain. Noelle needs to be cast in the MCU, in my opinion, and since the Marvel casting guys messed up by not casting him as Blade, I guess they have to make him Kang now.
Alright, what a miss. Yeah, got a good crying. Hi chat. They should get Terrence Howard to play Kang. No, don't even know what that is. Never watched Game of Thrones. Noel needs to be cast in the MCU, in my opinion. And since the Marvel casting guys messed up the casting in his ways, I don't think Kang. What mic is that? What mic? What this? This is a Arctic 7? Arctic Nova Steel Series Arctic Nova 7, I think is what it is. Arctis Nova 7. Yeah, it's a Steel Series headset. I'm a huge fan of Steel Series. I got one of their early versions. I think it must have been like the second or third. And I absolutely loved it. It's good quality for what you pay for. It's not something I would use for like podcasting. Like it's a little bit off, but that's why we have the fancier mics that we use for that kind of stuff when we do the You should get a separate mic, because in my honest opinion, headset mics have. Yeah, they do. But for when I'm doing this for the painting, the head on this doesn't reach my face. And I notice if I do too much podcasting, it tends to hurt my neck because it doesn't get to the seat very well. So yeah, I'm aware of the quality difference. It's just I can't do it while I'm doing the stream just because of where the painting area is located. Don't worry, buddy. I've thought about all this stuff. Posture. Yeah, you see exactly. See, I'm a chiropractor. I should know better. Anyway, so that hair is definitely coming out white. We're gonna start to shade it. So what we're gonna use is a little phthalo blue. It's a very, very delicious dark blue color from Chimerix Colors, which is absolutely a sneaker banger of a painting company. I mispronounce the name of this all the time because I keep saying phthalo blue because I'm a moron. It's pronounced phthalo blue. So make fun of me. It's also very watery when you leave it on a wet palette, which makes it really, really good for doing like hair strands because it'll get in there. So as you can see, just a little bit very watered down, and you instantly get like a solid shade. Now, what I used to do with this is I used to just like coat the entire hair thing with it. If you do that, the white has a real B word of a time trying to figure out what is and isn't supposed to be the highlight, and it makes it look just kind of weird. So what I always recommend is you just get in there and you actually try and be deliberate about it. Don't use it like a wash, is what I'm saying. If you use it like a wash, it gets a little funky. Just because of the fact that it's white, because you're trying to paint white, and white has this tendency to want to look pure. In my opinion, I always say make the mistake once, just so you can understand why it does what it does. So if you don't believe me, try it. And then you'll be like, oh. But with this guy's hair, it might honestly doing a wash of it's probably not even like the worst idea in the world. Just because there's like so many strands going on. It's actually kind of insane how detailed. Actually, I might have to just wash it because of how detailed this hair is. I don't know if you're all aware of Yelena Noel, but he's in the first Purge, and there's a scene where he's fighting down a stairwell in a white strobe, and he's just silhouetted, and it screamed Blade when I first saw it, but then they went and cast Marshala Ali for some reason. You saying Pathalo Blue reminds you of Bob Ross. We don't make mistakes, we have happy accents. Yes, I'm a huge Bob Ross fan. At some point, I will paint this model. So this is Ross Jepson from the Malifaux game. Does that remind you of anybody? I'm gonna paint it at some point. It's been impossible trying to fit him in. Yeah, it's a really good model. I have to throw away the card, of course, because it's old edition, but I've had that model for a long time. As soon as I saw it, I was like, yeah, I gotta have that. Phthalo Blue definitely does remind me of Bob Ross, though. That is one of the highlights of it. I used to watch a lot of The Joy of Painting. There was a lot of seasons of it. There was a lot I didn't get a chance to watch, but I did watch a ton of it. I think my favorite one will always be one of the episodes where he had a guest on. It was like an older lady that painted a saw blade, and it was like an ice landscape. It was so good. I was like, oh my gosh, I love this. And it was always fun on the certain episodes when he came back from doing paint sessions with the Grand Ole Opry, because he would have like video. There would be like video of him teaching the opera members how to paint. It's always those are always good episodes. I just got jump scared via an ad. That's why I gotta pay for the sub, bruv. We're trying to protect you from the vicious ads. But sub or not, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We do, watching the ads does help the network. Very, very, it's not a huge amount, but it does help. And every time that happens, Tim gets a little smile on his face. Which is why we're always trying to have some kind of content going on Twitch, just because it does help out. It helps pay for a lot of the other stuff. How am I expecting you to afford that? I got 19 cents in my name. Well, then you should pick a different name. That's easy. Just steal somebody else's name. I saw you post something, Tizzy. I'm getting there. I'm sure it's something devious. I'm sure you posted something devious about how bad of a person I am or something. Since you're not, how did I know? How did I know? Since you're not painting Ajax, Achilles, Hector, Thrawn, Namor, or anything else, the people want to paint Bob next. I can't paint Bob next because I promised Ernie I would paint his chibis, which you've been asking me to do, and I found the chibis. They were exactly where I thought they were. For some reason, when I looked in there before, the bag completely escaped my notice. This is Arnie. This is a chibi. I don't remember the names of the characters because it's not ever pertinent to the story of what anybody's name is in those old movies. But I will be painting Arnold from the movie. I legitimately don't know what his name is. And then the sexual Tyrannosaurus guy that was played by the wrestler in the Predator movie with the minigun. So these will be next. So next week will be the Ice Bear, because that will be the weekend that Warcrow is released on. So we'll paint as much of this as we humanly can on that Sunday and Monday. And then after that, I'm gonna teach you guys how to do chibi style on these two guys. And then after that, if you guys want, I will 100% do the Bob Ross. One thing I did have to do, Ernie, because I saw you just popped in, I did find some extra Infinity bases I had, because the bases that came with them are way too big. But I had a couple extra ones, so I'll plop them down on here. And I'm going to do jungle basing, if that's okay. I just wanted to double check with you. Yeah, when they're in the Dutch, that's his name. When they're in the helicopter at the very beginning, he's talking and he says that he's a sexual Tyrannosaurus. Yeah, it was like a famous line from Predator, the very first one. It's one of the best lines in that movie, quite honestly. Again, everybody thinks Predator's like this incredible movie. It is for what it is. It's great. As far as action movies go, I mean, you can't get much better than Predator. I am going to paint Ajax. You know what, Tizzy? I don't know when that model comes out. I think it comes out next week, I think. The new Ajax. I've already painted Hector. I'm never going to buy Achilles. Why would I ever buy a Shatterpoint model? I might paint Namor. I'm not going to lie. Because I want to play Asgard. And I think Namor works okay with Asgard. Even though they're all really expensive. But whatever. How are you expecting that? Identity theft goes crazy. It does go crazy. Just rename yourself PCN Dad and take the money from the network. Exactly. See, boom, Rylan. That's why you're one of the big heads of PCN, because you got the brains. You got the brains of this operation, buddy. Yeah, I've heard this one before. This song is butts. It's good li-fi. I've got a model you can paint. I got a model you can paint right here. Right here. You know what I'm saying, Fry Man? Yeah, and get to the chopper. That's his. Actually, that's from that movie too. Actually, that's from Predator. When he's like, "Get to the chopper." I'm pretty sure that was from Predator. Near the end, before Arnold fights the Predator by himself. Arnold. Yep. These models are for him. And he's a big fan of. He's supported me in a lot of different ways, so it's about time that I give back. Because all I do is take. I'm just an animal. I just take and take and take. Arnold is Dutch. Jesse Ventura is Blaine. That's his name. Yeah, it's like who? Like, at what point do the names even matter in that movie? Like, Dutch and Dylan are the only names that even really remotely matter. And the only reason I can remember that is because of the "you son of a bitch" Dylan scene, where they do like the big handshake arm wrestle thing that they do. I've got a model you can paint, and I can pay you with all these Malifaux models I'm never going to use, and they're just sitting in storage. Okay, what model is that? If it's something big and stupid, I'm going to say no. I've learned to say no. If it's like, oh yeah, you know, a model where he's like a guy holding a gun, and he's got some details, and he's got a laser sword, but I'm not painting Galactus. It's not happening. Yeah, can't say the whole line because I don't want to get banned. Yeah. All right, Chad, I gotta go do training on someone. Peace. See you later, Optic. Hope to see you again, buddy. Not at all, buddy, and I appreciate you doing it. The jungle basing is great. Yeah, HVT's from that. Yeah. I figured. I didn't think you'd care, but I figured I'd ask. But I have, thanks to, actually, oddly enough, thanks to Jesse from Fierce Finest, I have some of this bracken, which are like the big leaves and stuff, so it'll look pretty jungly. It'll look good. I'm not worried about that. And some deer fern. That's if I can fit it on there. They're big. The chibis have really, they're really weirdly proportioned for the bases. It's the ice giant from one of those epic dungeon boxes. He's about 6 inches tall. How did I know? How did I know it was going to be some big thing? Okay. What Malifaux models do you have? Let's begin negotiations. We have now entered the negotiation phase of Dylan's ability to waste all of his time. Because my brother asked me to paint something for him like a million years ago. He wanted me to paint this thing. He wanted me to paint this like statue thing. Which I started and then I was like, holy crap, this is going to take a long time. But this does have to get done at some point. I owe it to him. It's pretty cool though. So that's something I got to do at some point too. I got to find the owl that popped off. I got a lot of stuff I got to do! I'll have to send a picture. They're mostly 2nd edition Guild sculpts. Yeah, you see, that's the kind I don't really need Guild. Guild is the thing I have. And I may not do that on the stream. You know, it just depends. I'm a busy boy. And I have to be careful with my time. Because if I don't, I'll be single. And I can't afford that right now. Boston rent is kind of crazy. Ice giant, huh? That could be kind of fun. I guess it kind of depends on how much detail it has. Where were you when I had almost all of the rezzers that I couldn't get rid of at a fair price and sold the entire lot for 80 bucks? I was right here, buddy. I've always been here. Don't call it a comeback. Again, it was probably the older edition stuff, though. So, I know there's a couple... Well, there's at least one, right? Nicodem's dead. Nicodem's not even in the game anymore. What do you mean, where have I been? Bro! I make myself painfully available to as many people as humanly possible, like, all the time. Bruh. Bruh. If you're talking about where I was specifically, I was probably filming something for Arachne. Though, to be honest. To be quite honest, that's probably where I was. Because that's where I am quite a bit of my time. Which, Arachne scheduling might get a little bit wonky here, because it's getting harder and harder to find, one, things to talk about, two, guests, because especially this week, because Gen Con really messed with a lot of stuff. Like, a lot of people couldn't really do an interview this week just because everybody was getting ready to go to Gen Con. I do got to reach out to Tim Toolin. If anything, I might do that live on this stream so that Tizzy will leave me alone. Stop sending me feet pictures telling me to talk to Tim. Tim Toolin. Tim Toolin's an absolute doll of a guy. Great guy. Don't even start. Yes, I know. I knew you were going to do it. Because I thought I had something set up, and then they both were like, "Oh yeah, we got to go to Gen Con," and then it got kind of weird. So the because I bet Tim Toolin's going to Gen Con. I didn't want them. That's true. I remember saying that. Let me guess. If I were to message Tim Toolin right now, he'd be like, "Oh yeah, when I get back from Gen Con." I already know what's going to happen. I'm pretty sure Tim Toolin is going to help. I would be shocked if he wasn't helping CB do demos at Gen Con. And then the guy that runs the events, him, yeah, I'm sure he's probably going to go too. Amazing guy was one of the gents that got me into... Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to push everything aside. Do you want me to show it on my phone as I'm doing it, Tizzy? Would that make you happy? Here we go. Tim Toolin. Hi, Tim. I am being harassed by my painting stream to make sure you are a guest on Arachne soon. Are you going to Gen Con? If not, can we Schedule something soon. Question mark. Editing pass because my phone has a weird autocorrect. I am being harassed by my painting stream. Sure you are a guest on Arachne soon. Are you going to jump? There, boom, sent. You see that? It's going to be Chevy running events, then Mike, Josh, and Greg in the booth. Okay, well, we'll see what he says. I didn't want them. God, if only. I admit I'm getting a little like in life in general. I'm getting overwhelmed lately because there's a lot of stuff. Like I got to do the business stuff. I got to do the marketing for the new job. I'm trying to write like multiple scripts now because we're doing the RPG show. We're doing Calamity Jack and all that, and then it's like I sit down at home and I'm just like I just want to like paint and just relax. But then it's like, oh, if it's Tuesday, I gotta go do this thing in Derry, and then on Monday, it's like I gotta do. And again, I'm not the stream is like the most relaxing part of my week when I'm not doing any, and other than just not doing anything. And the funny thing is even on the days I'm not streaming, I'm still probably just painting. So it's like, oh yeah, I could just be streaming this anyway. And these past couple weeks, I got to get in touch with my student loan provider, and I got to do all this like tax stuff. I've been busy. I've been really, really, really friggin' busy.
Do it.
Do it. What, don't do my taxes? So, when it comes to that kind of stuff, I know I'm a human being, so when there's like certain things that I don't get done, I don't feel guilty about it because I know I'm not sitting around doing nothing. That's for sure. And do it. Alright, so what we're doing is we're just taking some of that white blue and we're picking the hair strands that are up so we can highlight them here in a second. This is one of those issues of when you're using a dark blue for the shading, it can kind of make the top of the hair look a little funky. Just because of the fact that you're going to have the highlight, the shades are going to get on the highlights and it's going to look kind of weird. So it's always a good idea to just kind of go in there and clean it up a little bit and get rid of some of the harsher transition lines, which is going to happen when you do a blue that dark. You could do something smarter than me and just use a blue that's not as harsh, and you may not have to do this. But I'm stupid, so don't bully me. So I've definitely been in a I need to figure out certain things in my life that I need to like stop doing. Just because I am starting to get a little overwhelmed on stuff. And some of it is just because I'm helping with the network stuff because Tim's doing his little vacation thing. Which I love to do. I love to help. It's just I've noticed my schedule's getting a little hectic. So the stream is 100% something that's staying. Because I love doing the stream. It's like one of the highlights. I love the stream. So you don't have to worry about me not doing this anymore. The hobby stream will live on. Unlike the D. And they call themselves Tenacious D. The D broke up. Politics took another one. Yeah, you guys can't even really see it because the camera can't pick up the white. You're just going to have to believe me. Alright, so I think we're streaming until like 5 or 5:30 or something. So once Kara gives me the wave, we'll have to be done. But I'll be back tomorrow. All right, now we're going to go to white. Okay, we're going to start picking out highlights. Again, I'm not entirely sure you're going to be able to see much just because of the glare from the camera and because we're painting a pure white. But that's okay. We're just using a very fine brush, riding along the tops of the upper hair strands just to give it depth. He has a lot of stuff in his hair, which looks like bones and stuff. So, and you know, it's a crazy detail that might seem kind of unnecessary, but when you're painting something like this, since the beard is so big, it'll actually be kind of a nice way to break it up. I might paint them like as black teeth, as opposed to just like the regular bone-colored teeth, like more of like an obsidian or burnt tooth, just because it'll really pop out on that white, which should help it pop out more. And I have a feeling that this model is going to have a lot of brown on it, so anything we can do to add another color that's not going to be a brown base, I think is going to be big. I think I'll also paint his little skull helmet in a black color. Oops, using the wrong color, Dylan. Yeah, Rylan, what did you think of the movie? I'll read your thing in a second, but what did you actually think of the movie? Like, was it good? I know, because like Deadpool 1 wasn't exactly like a particularly like amazing movie, but it was very funny. Which these days is all I really want. I don't need my movies to be incredible or thought-provoking all the time. Sometimes I actually just want to go there and laugh and have, you know, a good time. Some of these people with these movies these days, they're just like, I didn't have a soul-moving, thought-provoking moment while watching the movie. It's a failure. Which, I guess that's what people want from every single MCP movie these days. I don't know. I don't understand it, personally. Non-spoiler! Spoiler, I went to the 2:30 showing and it was packed. First movie of the day, and there was a ton of families there with kids. 10 and under. One family walked out during the opening credits. 3 total families walked out during the movie. Awesome! Big fan of that. Why would people take... Because it's a kids movie. Because kids love Deadpool because he's inappropriate. It's like been a big thing in comics forever. Deadpool 1 was better than 2, and I put 3 up there with it. Lots of immature humor, lots of profanity. Sweet. I thought 2 was okay. Really? You think 1 was better than 2? I thought 2 was better than 1. Like, I think the thing I didn't like about the second one was the weird... was like the villain, I guess, like with the orphanage guy, like in his weird, like trying to be nice to the kid, like he's mean to the kid and then he's good to the kid, kind of thing. I thought having Cable was cool, and obviously Josh Brolin can like literally just talk to me all day and I'd be happy. Like I love his voice. Which Josh Brolin having a bit of a resurgence these days. You know, he was in Dune. Again, not to say resurgence. He didn't. I don't think he really went anywhere, but I feel like he's just had a couple bangers of movies lately. Like I thought he was phenomenal in Dune. He just knows how to pick his characters. Where he just picks simple military-ish type characters that don't talk a whole lot, and he does a great job of that like gruff thing, which the guy that plays Punisher, Bernthal, I think his name Jonathan Bernthal. I haven't seen Wall Street 2, but seriously, anything he's in is great. I know some people get him confused with John Perlman. I'm not sure why. On some level, I understand why, but I'm just like, but they're like 2 completely different people. Alright, there we go. I think the hair looks good. You guys can't see any of it because it just looks like a weird pure white. You can kind of see it abstractly. Hi, Bubby. But there you go. So next we're gonna work on the jade color for his cloak. Or we're at least going to paint it green. I might not fully paint this just because this is going to take a little time and I don't think I have enough time. So, guys, thanks for making the stream more successful than I thought it was going to be. 16 viewers, that's awesome. I thought I was going to get like 2 people. I really appreciate you guys helping out. Of course, my little marketing thing. Become a patron for PCN if you like this kind of content. We make lots of different stuff. We got lots of different live plays. Today, actually, I think is when the Doppeldongers group gets together. So if you are a certain patron tier, you actually get to have an adventure with the PCN crew. Run by Dan, I'm pretty sure. So when I was getting in here, I saw them doing their adventure. I got asked to get in it, but I slept like 12 hours. I worked out yesterday, and my entire body was just in absolute misery. I've been doing this new workout thing where they take an EMS suit, which is an electric muscle stimulation suit, and while you're working out, they use the pads to shock the muscles, and you get like a crazy workout out of it. You work out for like 15-30 minutes. And it's about the equivalent of like 2 days at the gym. It's kind of insane. So my body's just like, I'm doing it as a experiment for patients. So if it works out really well, I'll probably do it at the office because it's very helpful. It's really good because it loads up the muscles, but it doesn't put any strain on the joints, which is really good for people who are doing rehab, especially. But I've been trying it out. It's been really, really helpful. I tried too hard. Try too hard for me, trying to repeat the success of the first movie. The third one was nothing but Deadpool flexing its Disney budget. That's cool, I guess. Deadpool 3 is one of the rare movies that made me shout during the film. That cameo was just for me. That cameo was just for you. Just don't do what happened to me and sit next to the guy who sang all the songs and clapped during the credits. I hate those guys. I mean, whatever, man. It's a crowded movie theater. You're gonna get the people that are annoying. It's gonna happen. I think Keebler. Now that you say that, the only time I ever like actually said something during a movie was when Daredevil was in Homecoming. Or well, Matt Murdock, where he catches the brick. He's like, I'm a really good lawyer. I was like, yeah, woo, Daredevil. Yeah! I strongly dislike anyone. Yeah. It's fine. Whatever. There's a lot of things in this world that make me angry, and I can deal with that. That's not a huge deal with me. You know what? You know what would make the stream more successful? Sweet Infinity Terrain. I don't think so. Infinity Terrain, I think, is pre-painted. It wouldn't be very helpful in a painting stream. I'm not sure my cameo is tattooed on my arm. The one that you didn't think it was. But I can't see your arm. You just have to use subtitles. Got it. Yeah, my favorite I've always held the torch for. My friend insisted my cameo would never ever happen, and it did. I don't know what's happening. I do humbly request that you please don't spoil anything for anybody in the chat, because the movie literally came out yesterday. Which I don't think you guys intended to. I appreciate that. Just please don't. The way you're doing it right now is fine. Honestly, spoilers don't affect me very much, but I know there's a lot of people out there that get really upset if they get something spoiled for them. So please, be kind and rewind. I forget the last thing that got spoiled for me. So we're using some black green because we're going to paint this jade. To not spoil. We have to talk in code. Yeah. To not spoil anything. It came out Friday. Okay. I never know with the pre-releases and all that stuff. It's like, oh yeah, this movie comes out on Sunday, but the pre-releases, we could release it 2 weeks ahead of time. And I'm like, I don't know what's happening, but fine, whatever. Enough with the talking with the dogs there. I even get mad at fake spoilers when Force Awakens came out. My friend said Chewbacca dies and it lessened the experience. That's fair. Yeah, I could see that. I just don't read. I don't like trailers. I don't read anything about movies before I go see them. This is going to sound super weird and kind of depressing. I despise hype. I do not want to feel anything for something until maybe after. So if somebody were to say, "Oh yeah, hey, there's this thing that you would find super interesting. Here's a trailer for it. You should watch it." I'm like, "No, I'm not watching the trailer because I don't want to feel excited. I do not want to feel anything. Because I know if I do, it makes waiting just miserable because I'm going to hyperfixate. And if I go and watch it and I have these preordained expectations in my head and it doesn't meet those expectations, it just makes it worse. So I'm just like, why don't you just go watch it without having to and I know the hype is a marketing tool, right? That's what they use to get people to get excited about their products, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, whatever. But I guess GW is probably the reason why I feel this way. It's like if somebody tells you, "Oh yeah, hey, in the future, TM, we're going to release this thing," and then it doesn't happen for 3 years, it's like, I sat there and waited for 3 years for you to release this stupid thing. Any amount of joy I would have got from it beforehand, I'm not going to feel now. And I don't want to do that. Oh man, what about that thing that happened with all those people and then what you... blah, 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 blah. Qui-Gon dying got spoiled for me and I never let it down. Yeah, I guess I could see how that could make you a little upset. I hate it when they have surprises in the movies where certain people show up at the release promo. I wish we knew nothing about movies. Imagine if we didn't know Toby and Andrew. Yeah, and honestly, there was the amount of people that were talking about that. Before the Spider-Man movies came out, where they were doing their best to hide it, but then people were taking the scenes from trailers and just absolutely annihilating them.
Don't forget, we gotta walk the dogs before we go, so...
You want to leave at 5?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me finish what I'm doing and then we'll go. Yeah. Alright guys, we're wrapping up. But, yeah, could you imagine going into that movie and literally not knowing that Toby and Andrew were going to show up? That would have been, mind-blowing. Movies come out Friday, games come out on Tuesday, GW releases on Saturday. the three main food groups of releases. I hate it when they have surprise. If there's a movie I want to see, I don't watch YouTube videos that release the day before the movie comes out because some people are a-holes and yep. When I went to see Far From Home, the ticket guy sent me into the wrong theater and I walked into the scene of all of them in the lab. I've been pissed. Keebler, please. This is what he looks like so far. We'll pick this up tomorrow, but I'm gonna pick out all the teeth and stuff in his beard, and we're gonna paint those black. I might work a little bit on them before I come back tomorrow, or I might just paint my own models, which I have thousands of. So that's the thing. I knew about Mr. Fantastic. I knew about Mr. Fantastic and Doctor Strange because the day it released, someone joined 1 million discords with as a spoiler as their name. Yeah, I know. Why do those people what do those people get out of that? I don't understand. Serotonin? No, it's the being a friggin' douche, the douche a bag. All right, guys, all the usual marketing stuff. Go to PCN, buy the stuff, buy some merch, blah blah blah, whatever. All the stuff by now. I think all the people in here are people I know. We'll talk more about all that stuff tomorrow. But it's a really good model. I'm excited to get through this through this guy with you guys. Tomorrow I don't work, so I might even start the stream a little early. I just have to do some logistic stuff with the student loan company. But other than that, I think I have the day pretty free, which is cool. But we'll see. Guys, thanks for hanging out with me.
Love you.
I don't love you all, but I do love you, like platonically. Like I would go to dinner with you, but I wouldn't seal the deal. Except unless you're Tizzy, then I'm going for it. I'm going for it. Going for the Grand Slam. That's a good way to live, Keebler. I gotta give you credit on that one. All right, guys, have a lovely night.